All right. Cheers, everybody, and welcome back to the Driver Recruiting Happy Hour podcast. My name is Darin Williams. I'm the president of CDLjobs.com. And with me, as always, is my mainmost man and the president of 10-4 Recruiting, Matt Beach. Beach, how are you?
Doing well, man. Doing well. You look like you've gotten some sun.
I have got sun. I had a pretty good 4th of July holiday there. Probably too good.
So you've just been burnt this entire time. So July 4th, you went out for
It's a base. It's not really a burn. It's a base.
So it's like John Candy. Did you ever, was it Summer Rental?
Summer Rental. It's a base. You got to build a good base.
It's a good base. This is a good base.
There's people that say I looked a lot like John Candy last weekend. So, yeah. So, so we got a health and fitness guy, and he's probably not going to like the sunburn, but I don't think he probably cares about it. He's not a dermatologist. But we do have the CEO and founder of B-Lean Fitness, Brandon Rothrock. Brandon, welcome.
Thanks, Darin and Matt. I'm glad to be here, and I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
Where are you from?
Did you ever consider like
Hold on, I just asked him. Hold on, I asked him.
That name.
I asked a question, Brandon. Where are you from?
So
out of the way, because I gotta know who we're talking to.
I'd love to kind of spin it back on you guys, and just from the accent, where do you guys think I'm from?
Well, I know. I looked it up. See, I do pre-show research.
Well,
I know where you're based now. You don't sound like where I think you're from, though. I will tell you that. But I think you're from Kansas City.
I'm going to go St. Louis.
So I live in Kansas City, but I'm from North Carolina.
Hey, hold on. I'm from North Carolina, Kansas City. I got close, and I'm okay. I'm okay with where I'm at. I feel good about it.
He's from North Carolina and lives in Kansas City, and you're counting St. Louis as a victory?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right.
Oh, yeah. Now, we're at North Carolina. Where are you from? Where did you?
Winston-Salem.
Winston-Salem. So are you a witch?
I'm not.
That's tobacco country, right? Isn't that where all the tobacco companies were?
Yeah, I'm from a small town called Walburg, and it's right in the middle of Winston-Salem and Thomasville, North Carolina.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Furniture capital of the world.
Absolutely. Yep.
I worked in for 15 years. I worked out of Huntersville.
Okay.
Yeah. Therefore, with the whole booming of Lowe's and all that. And so my office, I got to see Dale Jr.'s office there every single day. Loved it. And I was like, one day I'm going to meet this guy. Just one day.
Yeah.
And so I was at the Holiday. It was a Holiday in hotel on the outskirts. It was a place where we all went to go. I mean, out of all the places, this one area had a great bar. So we're sitting there, and the people from Garage Monkey, where they go in, they update the car and everything else, they were there at the bar, and they were staying in the hotel. And of course, I was like, Adam, man, I'm a huge fan. What are y'all doing? They're like, well, we made a car for Dale Jr. I was like, this is it. I was like, dude, look, you don't have to pay me nothing. Just let me pick stuff up. Let me carry whatever you tell me to do. I'll do it. Just get me on the ground. He was like, I go, I'll buy your drinks. Round all this, whatever it was. It was a hefty tab. So I bought it. Yeah. So we get there, and sure enough, I'm just unloading the van, and here comes Dale Jr. And after a while, he was like, hey, you guys, he was looking at me, and he goes, y'all been busting your butts here. Y'all want to go on a tour? I'm like, yeah. So me, Dale Jr., a couple other good-looking blondes got on this big gator thing that he had, and we went to so he's got an actual Western village on his property.
Wow.
It's the blondes follow you from the Holiday Inn, or where they come in?
You got the saloon, all that, right? I mean, it's actually amazing. And then at one point, we're about 100 yards away from where we're at. He goes, hey, guys, I'm going to let y'all walk back. I'm going to take the ladies around and let them look at the rest of the stuff. So we got left off the gator, and we had to walk back. And then, ended up taking me back to the hotel, dropping us off, got back in my truck, went back, had a great time. So there you go.
Yeah. What an experience.
Oh, dude, phenomenal experience. Here to tell you
Brandon
about today. I mean, look at that.
I learned something about him every time, Brandon.
I had no idea. I haven't told you that story.
He was a garage monkey.
Yeah.
Well, that changes everything. back to Brandon and back to Kansas City, with the home of Be Lean Fitness. And so I'm going to make a couple of assumptions here. You started this fitness company and you realized that the trucking industry needed more help than anyone.
Yes, sir. I mean, absolutely. I mean, we kind of fell into it by accident. Prior to October of last year, our health and fitness program was for all types of individuals, not just truck drivers. And one of our best success stories that I remember, I think from back in like 2021, was actually from an OTR driver, lost 95 pounds. And that's not even the most
Wow.
impressive part. He's kept it off like to this day. And that's
Oh.
what it's all about. Nobody wants to put in work and time and effort to see results that they can't keep, you know? So, you know, that was kind of where the idea came from and where it sparked. Like, hey, what if, and this was before we even tailored our service to truck drivers. Like now it's 100% tailored to drivers. And I was like, wow, if we got this OTR driver results without the program being, 100% catered to the lifestyle and the schedule of a driver, imagine what could happen if we went all in, with this program. And that turned into a lot of research, back at the end of 2023, and spending a lot of time, like honestly just talking on the phone to like hundreds of drivers to understand the industry. And we rolled Road Warrior Wellness out, back in October, and have been helping drivers ever since, seeing some really good success, and helping drivers that have actually been told by their doctor, unfortunately, like they're kind of a lost cause. Yeah, they don't know what to do. Like this one lady in particular, um, early 60s, has Hashimoto's disease, thyroid issues, and of course her doctor wants her to be healthy and lose the weight, but like he was kind of at a standstill. Like, I don't know what to tell you, Joanne. And she came on board and has had really good success. But that's just one of the many that stands out to me.
I don't want to say like, Darin's, he's not a lost cause, but I mean, he's like one donut away from just being saying, man, he's let himself go. So I know this is going to be a great episode.
That's not true. I had a donut for lunch and I feel fine.
It
And
shows.
there's nothing wrong with that. I love donuts as well.
It shows. I'm just saying, it's been a while since I've seen you. I'm already feeling worried about it. I think this is a great episode. That this is not only it's just for you too, bro.
First of all, they say the camera adds 10 pounds.
It's
Or I say that.
about 30.
It's a very well-known saying.
It's quite a bit. You keep telling yourself that, but it's quite a bit.
Moving on. So what's your background, Brandon, that got you started in this in the first place?
Yeah. So, I mean, I grew up a 3-sport athlete. Once I entered high school, I, focused just on basketball. That was my thing. And honestly, the only fitness I was a part of was playing ball. I didn't like lifting weights. I didn't know or care about nutrition. It was just, basketball. That was my thing. And, most most high schools have strength and conditioning classes, and they require their athletes to go through them. So I was kind of forced to be in the weight room, and honestly dreaded it. I just didn't have an interest, and that evolved into, working out more, lifting weights more, I'd say, when I was a junior and senior in high school. And fortunately, I was able to move on to play junior college ball, basketball at a junior college in Lexington, North Carolina. It was called Davidson County Community College at the time. Now it's called Davidson Davie Community College. And unfortunately, I had to redshirt my first year. So there was no playing basketball. I had back surgery. And, I couldn't run up and down a court. I couldn't shoot. And I was like, man, well, I got to do something. So that's where I started, getting into lifting weights more, like stationary, and made a good transformation, physically and mentally, most importantly. It's way more about, health and fitness is way more about, the physical appearance and the physical results. And, that led into me obviously finishing out, my basketball career, but I really had the desire to, let others experience the similar transformation that I had, with fitness. So I got certified and started, training folks at a local gym just as a personal trainer. And I realized that, from a business perspective, that's not really scalable, right? In terms of the scale that I wanted. And I was limited on how many people I could help. And, most personal trainers, they're helping just, predominantly with just exercise. And whenever it relates to weight, like losing weight, nutrition, is 80 to 90% of the results. So I was limited in that scope. So I could really only help, those individuals with working out. So started the company, Be Lean Fitness in 2018. It's a completely remote company. We service clients virtually. And, like I alluded to earlier, we worked with any individuals that wanted to improve their health and their shape, did that up to 2023. And now, we kind of niche down to the truck driver demographic. And we're just focused on helping them lose weight. And as a byproduct of that, improve their health.
How do you do it virtually for them? How do you do that virtually for them?
Yeah, so we do have a mobile app that we supply each driver to really just display their habits, instead of a coach like giving them a call and having them write things down on a sheet of paper. So everything is formalized in the app. And then like the support and the accountability is huge. I like to tell our drivers, like, you could have the best plan in the world, but if you can't follow through with it, it's pointless, So the sticking with it is a lot of the stuff that we focus on. So every driver is assigned to a coach that will, message them inside the app, via weekly check-ins. And depending on the plan that they join with us, some of them have either, weekly accountability calls or bi-weekly calls.
Nice. How many coaches do you have?
Just one right now, just one. And he's at about, I'd say 75% capacity. So he's going to be maxed out here pretty soon.
So it's not like you take the phone, or the driver takes the phone, sets it up, and you've got this guy thinking like, what was the movie Over the Top Stallone? You're like pulling, and he's like, come on, one more rep, one more, give me two, get outside that truck and run. And they're running around the truck, and then running around this way, and the coach is still on the phone. You get it, one, two, one. It's not like that.
Yeah, no, not at all. I mean, we try to.
I'm just saying, I wouldn't mind that. I wouldn't mind that if your coach wouldn't call me and just start chewing me out while I'm not, get off your butt, Matt Beach. Let's go. One more. I could.
Yeah.
That actually ties into kind of an interesting thing I saw on your website. Yeah. And it's that you offer a 100% money back guarantee.
Yeah.
How?
So yeah, it's a great question. So it's
accountability. I mean, it's 100% accountability on me to do what you're telling me, right? I mean, once the program, if I do what you tell me, the program's going to work.
Absolutely. So the reason why we're able to offer that guarantee, and it is conditional, to be frank, is because we have a proven system that we've tested on, a plethora of individuals, and we know if they follow it, they're going to get results, right? So, our guarantee is, hey, if you come into the program, for the first 30 days, you follow what your coach says, which is probably 4 or 5 things, right? 4 or 5 habits, like communicating with your coach, responding to the messages, hitting your daily habits, which again are personalized to the driver, right? So like if a driver comes to us and they're drinking, 5 sodas a day and 0 bottles of water, we're not going to have them like cut out the soda all at once and have like start drinking a gallon of water a day. That's just not practical. So we make sure that the habits are feasible for them to actually hit. And yeah, if they go through the program for 30 days and they follow what we tell them and they don't see results, we'll give them 100% of their money back, because, we have a process that works. And if someone's willing to put in the time and effort and happen to not see results, we're more than happy to do that.
Are there different levels, Brandon? I mean, is there an entry level and a supreme level, or however you want to?
There is. Yeah, we have, the program is called Road Warrior Wellness, but we have, I guess you could say, 3 spinoffs or options of that, because some of our drivers need a lot of accountability. Some just need a little bit, and some don't need, hardly any at all. So we have a basic trucker plan, an elite trucker, and a VIP trucker plan. And really the biggest difference is the level of support that the drivers get. And we don't like start a driver off at basic and then work them up. We let them choose, because they know them better than anyone knows them. And we let them, choose their plan, and they can always upgrade or downgrade anytime. because all plans are month to month.
I think you need to just a suggestion, maybe like a Darin level. You know what I mean? Telling her, you're at a Darin
We
level.
might could work with that.
We got a
What
lot
would that consist of? What would that consist of?
It's pretty low.
A ruler on the hand when I reach for the donut at lunch.
Well, here's the thing.
That's
You
not
can
so
still
much
have
virtual
them.
though.
You could still have the donuts. That's something that, kind of fires me up about like just the weight loss industry, how there's so many misconceptions and myths. But like, I know this isn't about me, it's about our drivers, but like I will never give up donuts. I'll never give up sugar. I'll never give up carbs, but yet I'll still remain in shape solely because of certain principles and parameters. That's the number one driver to at least, weight loss, right? And a lot of people will attach health, like healthy habits, to weight loss, and there's definitely correlations. But like if you think about it, the number one driver to weight gain is eating in a calorie surplus. So technically you could eat 100% healthy options and gain weight from that if you were over consuming, right? So both are definitely important, but I see a lot of drivers get tripped up because they think they should, go away entirely from the donuts, the sugar and the carbs. And it's like 75% of our food options consist of carbs. So that would be pretty difficult to do, yet alone sustain.
You give me a whole loaf of bread right now, I'd eat it.
Yeah.
A whole loaf. And wouldn't even think bad about myself.
Yeah.
I think that brings up a pretty good point as far as guys that are out on the road.
Yeah.
It can be hard to find healthy options. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah, I mean they're definitely limited. If you were to walk into a truck stop, it probably would take you an extra maybe 5 or 10 minutes to find like some healthier options, right? So I mean
Something
that's
that's
one of
not
the
chicken fried.
yeah, exactly. And where we like to start with our drivers is like we teach them how to lose weight their way. So we never put them on a plan or assign them certain habits that they're not open-minded to. Because some of our drivers, they tell us, look, I do want to start eating healthy. I know it's important to me, but like I still want to defer to truck stop foods here and there. Or if I'm on home time, I would love to go have a nice dinner with my family and maybe have a piece of cake or something like that. So we really take into account where they're starting out from and adapt our weight loss plan to their schedule as opposed to the other way around. Because most weight loss plans, that's where it trips people up. They say, look, you need to adapt your fitness, or you need to adapt your schedule to your fitness, right? They say to sacrifice more, use more discipline, and all those things are involved, but not to the extent that, unfortunately most, plans and companies make it out to be.
So, Brandon, right now, all of your plans are tailored to individuals. Do you have programming or a platform where if a fleet wanted to come in and say, "Hey, I work with my guys here," is that something that somebody can reach out to you about?
100%. Right now we're selling direct to consumer, just because the opportunities haven't, rose yet, but we're definitely, that's something that's in the works. It's something, on my radar. So absolutely. As long as they're a truck driver, and they have weight to lose and they want to improve their health, then absolutely.
Right.
I mean,
Some of the stats that
and I wouldn't just keep it just for truck drivers. Also, I mean, anybody who's behind the wheel of the vehicle, because even now you've got hot shots, you've got individuals who are still running. Might not be a 53-foot trailer, but they're still behind a large dually truck, and they're still running those long lanes. And I tell you what, there are so many of those that whether not be a Class A, Class B drivers right now that are huge and in need of that. And people always think trucking, it's nothing but Class A, Class A, Class A. Let me tell you something, man. There are Class B drivers who need help. I mean, anybody who's sitting behind the wheel all day, every day, and that, like we said, the little break is getting off and finding a truck stop or just a quick sandwich to get something to eat and right back at it for another 4 more hours or whatever else is time on their clock. Tell you something, man, there are a lot of people like that. And I think what you're focusing and what you're targeting right now and your need, I think it's definitely needed out there, man.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's a really good point. And maybe we expand in the future. I just know that, with my team's, expertise and our experience, we want to, provide the highest level of support and just give drivers the highest probability of success. And I've noticed that previously when we worked with anyone and everyone, we weren't able to get laser focused on, just the lifestyle of that particular occupation of the individual. So now, like, we're learning so much and can really adapt it to drivers. So yeah, I mean, the focus definitely now is only truck drivers, but you're so right. Anybody who's behind a wheel and living on the road has a lot of inherent challenges that, hopefully maybe down the line, we could add another service for them.
Do you tailor it specifically to each driver? I mean, so you've got, you can have guys that are working for the same company. Maybe some guys working flatbed. They might get a little bit more work because they're out strapping, tarping, stuff like that. Some guys unload 53-foot trailers every day. Others never get inside the trailer and touch it. I mean, is it tailored specifically to the driver, or is it just kind of here's the basics of this thing and follow this pattern?
Yes, sir. Definitely the former. It's there's two layers to it. The first layer is for truck drivers, right? But the next layer is the individual, because there's so many nuances, with drivers, right? 'Cause some of our drivers, they drive nights, some of them drive during the day, some of them drive team, some of them are flatbed, right? Some of them are home, literally once every 6 months, and then some are home every weekend. And, you know, given that criteria, there's definitely, nuances. So yeah, we do have to tailor it to the individual as well to really make it effective.
Well, it's an interesting program, and I think it's a very much needed program. I think it says right on your website that our industry, when it comes to drivers, has a 70% obesity rate, I guess is what you call it. I mean, 70% of truck drivers are obese. Is that clinically
Yeah.
obese or just guys that probably need some help?
Yeah. I mean, that's how I see it. roughly 70% are obese. And, you know, I think it's interesting how they call it an obesity rate, right? And they correlate it to like um, health issues. And what I mean by that is, of course, the more weight someone has on them, the more um, detrimental their health could be. But like the reason why, we focus on truck drivers who want to lose weight is really to lower that rate, right? So we're getting to the root cause of the health issues, which is weight, right? And as a byproduct, our drivers will be healthier just by getting the excess weight off. And I've noticed that with our drivers, once they lose 10, 15, 20 pounds, they have so many epiphanies and transformations that take place, not just physically, but mentally, more confidence, more mental clarity. And they become more open-minded to maybe tweaking a habit or tweaking a meal to make it healthier. Right. So that's why we don't have people go all in, with their habits and just like, go all in and, start with, meal prepping, once a day and things of that nature. But yeah, we're attacking the root cause, getting the weight off, and then slowly improving the quality of their habits over time.
I like that, especially deciding what other non-healthy items are not going to go on my sandwich. Like I could take Fritos and crunch that on a sandwich right now, a ham turkey sandwich with Fritos mashed in. Done, done.
Sounds delicious.
Phenomenal. Fantastic. That with a can of beanie weenies. Call it a day.
Yeah, I'd eat it.
Serious. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, if I write,
Thank God everybody's forgot about my donut for lunch.
Yeah, I wish I could put on a pair of 34 pants. I wish I could. If I put them on right now, I would feel like a can of biscuits about to blow out. You know what I'm saying? And so that's just one of those where if I wanted to change my habit, I might do that. I might just go, I'm going to wear a pair of 34s and let me just see how I feel throughout the day. I'd feel miserable. Yeah. But I know what you're talking about because, I mean, at one point I was in my worst, I was like 270 and then said, this enough's enough. I looked at myself in the mirror one day. I was wearing a blue shirt. I looked like a blueberry, a massive blue, like with the girl from Willy Wonka. just big.
Yeah.
And said enough's enough. And small wins. And someone had told me kind of like, well, you don't want to just completely go cold turkey on some of the stuff. Just small wins wherever you can. And the best I got down to was 220 from that. I mean, it took, and that's the discouraging thing. You think it's going to be overnight or in 1 month, I need to see it. And you're like, small wins, small wins. And so it took roughly almost a year to be able to hit that for me. And man, I felt great. It was a good, I mean, clarity's up, you're thinking, you just have a better, everything works better. I mean, it's just just a completely different mindset as to when you hit that level, and you feel a whole lot better. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, something that I've noticed that works well is like, recommending to our drivers to not focus on the weight loss. Like, don't think about it at all. Of course, that's the objective, but it takes a while to feel rewarded from that. To your point, it takes time to get the weight off. But if you focus just on how much better your body feels, you're literally winning every day and you feel rewarded by that. So that's, one tactic that we use to get our drivers to take their mind off of the weight loss, because that should happen as a byproduct because of, the work that we've done on the back end with their programming.
And I think there's a stat that you have listed that I think would motivate anyone, is that the average life expectancy of a truck driver is 17 years less than the average than the nationwide norm.
Yeah.
And that's just due to obesity. I mean,
yeah. I mean, that's a huge driver. I'm sure like the safety being on the road, like obviously the wrecks and the crashes probably play a role in that. But yeah, I would say the obesity rate is definitely trumping all others. So yeah, I mean, it's unfortunate to see that number and that statistic, but I am confident that if we can, help drivers find a way to lose weight, keep it off, and improve their health as a byproduct, then we can get that stat down.
well, Brandon, we'll link it where we do our stuff here, but how do people get a hold of you if they want to talk to you more about this?
Yeah, absolutely. I would recommend for them to go to our website, which is bleanfitness.com. And that's just the letter B, LEANfitness.com. And if they want to find us on Facebook or Instagram, just type in Lean Fitness and they'll find us there.
And we'll have that linked as well, along with Beach's Beanie Weenie and Fritos recipe, if anybody wants that. And other than that, Brandon, thank you very much for your time today. We truly appreciate it. Wish you the best of luck, and I think what you're doing is important. I think I think it's going to start picking up some steam here.
Absolutely. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks, guys. And again, thank you, everyone. Until the next time, be safe and keep on trucking.
Sunscreen.